All right, so we're here with Charles's game, Gandhi gameplay, turn 153 to 190, and we'll get into this. We'll be commentating as it goes. I don't have any notes here. I've watched the video once. Um, we're playing it at 2 times speed. Yeah, so we're coming back to this game. He just got this city here. And now he's turning his attentions. Also, he has a settler up here that he has to settle this turn, and we'll be seeing this. We'll just be watching at twice speed, advancing when there seems to be dead spots, and just continuing. Right now, his goal is it's either to take out Indonesia and to gain enough science so that he can go to the other side of the world and convert them. That is his number one goal right now. Is it can be producing more faith, but really he should be focusing on getting as much science as he can and getting to the other side of the world as fast as possible. Right now, he has a decent enough military to withstand. He's friends with two out of three other people on the continent. He is survivable. Charles and I talked about his game a little bit privately. Before he played this game, of course, I mentioned to him that taking this will obviously lead to taking this city, but then going from here to the next cities might be more difficult because they have higher defensive purposes. I now see that they don't have all that much, so he could be taking on, but I think that's detracting from his focus.
Right. I was attacking this dude. Completed library. Okay.
Building walls wouldn't be a bad spot in there. You always kind of want to have some defensive purposes to your city. So this is a solid point where building walls in your capital would be a good idea. Yep, you chose. I believe you chose a campus in that city.
Help attack. Wish I saw him. I moved him.
That archer, to be honest, is not going to be doing very much for taking out a city. Your units are strong enough as it is. That archer should be kind of in point defense along with that Varu. So there's there's no reason for you to be going towards crossbowmen. Your goal is to get to cartography. That is your goal. Taking some time to go to apprenticeship, sure, you can do that. Spending some time to go here is okay, but really, this is a big detour to be going towards something that you don't really need. Because again, you're friendly with your allies, and the guy behind you, your neighbor, is strong, but he's not so strong that you and Gorko couldn't take him on.
Isn't this how you'd be able to build? What's the thing for lumber mills?
It's the one right before.
So I can already do it. Build lumber mill here, in here, in here.
You in this situation, you're going to want to prioritize building a lumber mill here, just because you're getting a lot of faith and stuff from it. But then the next one should be on the river. So having a lumber mill on force gives you +1 production to that, which makes force pretty useful, especially if they're forested hills. But then having them beside a river also gives them an additional production, so you can quickly rack up some sizable production. By putting a lumber mill here, I think you're going to be boosting your production to 3 or 2 by the logic that I just did. But here you'll be boosting it to 3. So prioritize this one over this one type thing. Well, again, it depends if you want to be you're gonna be want to build a lumber mill here anyway. So you're again building an archer in this situation was potentially not the greatest of ideas, right? Again, because an archer is not going to be doing all that much. One turn more for ancient walls versus an archer. Ancient walls are going to help you survive much longer than an archer will. It also gives a pretty good deterrent. The only benefit of an archer versus a wall is the ability to attack and move forward. But archers at this level with his level of defense here is not going to do shit.
Give me the crossbowman.
Spending 13 turns to get a tech that you don't need is not ideal. Okay, you did build a campus there. That's good.
Holy sign, I guess. These guys are just fucking waste.
They are.
Oh, yeah.
What I would do in this situation, since they're useless, is I would position them. I would. Oh, you did so. No, you didn't. You don't do this, and you don't stick to this. You change it back.
We need this, though.
No.
All right. No, here.
Yeah.
And then
You need cartography. That's another mistake. Yeah, you don't need square rigging. I would separate all your religious units there, the apostles and missionaries, separate them out so that when you do get cartography, you can explore multiple areas at once. Sure, you won't be focus firing your religious attack, right? But as you approach cartography, you should be pumping out a lot of religious units in preparation for that. So, you should just be overwhelming rather than focus firing down right off the bat. You want to find religious holy cities right away. You don't want to be moving around like you did trying to find Tokyo's holy site with four guys in the exact same area. That's not helpful. Not for finding it quickly, at least. You do pretty good. Well, you do pretty well here, making use of the pillaging mechanics. You have a builder in Delhi that you're not using. Was that there last turn? I don't remember. No. Yeah, you must have bought that last turn. So he just got 2 production there.
am I thinking? Alternatively. Yeah, that's what I want.
Yeah, you just there should be no discussion there. You just throw them at the wall. You throw all your units at the wall in that situation. See, the archer doesn't do anything at 16. Now imagine at 22. There's no reason to be producing that archer in the capital. And here you do exactly what you're doing, where you throw all your units at those walls just so that they can stop being able to defend, and you're going to take the city in no time. You should have moved that guy, that Varu. Moving that Varu into the city is going to heal him at like twice the speed, right? So like you heal when you're outside of territory or in enemy territory, you heal 10 per turn. If you heal inside your own territory, it's 15, and if you heal inside of a city, it's 20. Now there is a boost that you can get through a great scientist that gives you +5 healing on all units when they heal per turn, which will increase all of those, I think. But yeah, so having your Varu here healing outside of the city is not helping. It's not going to help you getting him up and going as fast as possible. And here, well, we discussed this already. Although, I'm really surprised. Maybe they changed this. So this game has happened after the new update. So maybe they did make a change to that in terms of lumber mills. Because we this is like, I guess, the day after a new update came out. So
Dang it. Nice.
there's no real need for doing that switch, right? Um, that you just did. But yeah, keep the city. I believe that you would be able to take this city right here, and that would be really handy for you. Very strong positionally, but you know we are playing a religious game, not a domination game. So by that logic, I don't know if, yeah, building a trader is probably a good move, but I would have it doing domestic routes so that you can get some roads up and going, because you don't have any roads in your cities right now, and that's
Which is, do I
really
want to keep
hampering
pushing?
your movement.
Question is, do I want to keep pushing?
You have a pretty easy. I think you would have an easy time of it, especially if you took Langpura. If you took it in the way that. But you know what? Getting an extra 13 gold per turn is pretty good. I would. That's a good option too. But you can't. You do have the ability to move forward. I think you would have had to. You would have
I
had.
can reduce those.
The difference between 16 and 24 is not that big. Okay, well, we don't need to see this.
So I do this. Sure you don't, buddy. Don't need this anymore. Per se.
So here, Nuri is falling to you, and you're about to.
I guess this
Okay.
would be a good thing to have next.
Right. So Nuri is falling to you. You make a good observation that she's probably gonna avoid that, which she does. Right. She ends up putting a governor in there. But then you make a mistake in the sense when you make an alliance with her, which you just switched your cultural track to. You you give her a cultural alliance, which means that your cities do not apply loyalty pressure on her, and her cities don't apply loyalty pressure to you,
Oh, I thought that I would lose my charge for that, so I got him.
which definitely benefits her a lot more than you. So, yeah, they're your ally, but you don't want them to get ahead of you, right? And so that's one thing that I would be afraid of. So it's been what, 5 turns that we missed out on a city up here. That's pretty significant. Once you settle the city, we'd see that we'd be at 2 pop and fairly long down the road already.
How long was he sitting there for?
So it takes 4 turns. You'd be at 2 pop, which you then could buy a settler with. We could be fairly ahead. Maybe you change that though. I'm not sure. So here, an interesting thing that I was thinking of earlier is, I mean, granted, we're not playing this kind of game, but if we were playing a domination game, settling the city right here would have been a baller move. Because then that would be the only city in the game. You would be the only city, or civ even, being able to cross the ocean easily to cross across the continent on this continent. So you'd be the adjoining 2 civs if you were to have settled here. But we're not playing a domination game, so it doesn't really matter. I just thought that was a cool idea that you could have employed to go here. Otherwise, your second city, I mean, I think you made a good choice by putting it down here. Of course, by putting a city down here, it's gonna be taking away tiles from this guy. You can only really go up to here with this. So putting a guy here, going 3 tiles out is not a bad idea up here. But yeah, you just want to be settling as much as you can in this area here.
Calm down, butthole.
I wonder if Abomadad up there, Abomadad, is on a production focus or not, because 12 turns to build a campus with all those tiles and that population is really long. Yeah, you have 5 pop with a shit ton of population. It shouldn't be taking that long.
Think about here.
Yeah, that's a good settler spot, but you don't do it. So right, so you start. So this is interesting right here. Oh, did I just move it? Didn't move it.
Move back here.
Well, I think we were at 20 something. Fuck.
No, it's gonna be 6 turns, but because then I can have the what is it? Venetian Arsenal.
Right. So you're thinking about building an industrial site here in order to get the Venetian Arsenal, which is a great wonder. It's an absolutely amazing wonder, but we're not going for a domination victory. If you're going to be building a district here, I mean, you might as well either make it a faith or a campus. Putting in an industrial site purely on the water just so that you can get the Venetian Arsenal is not going to be helping you in any in the aim of getting a religious victory. But if you were planning if you weren't sure what victory type you were going for, or you're planning a domination, that would be an excellent thing. You know, I often forget to plan ahead for the Venetian Arsenal. So here, I don't know if you meant to do that.
Can't remember what it's called. It's a district.
Like, I don't know if you meant to to be putting down 2 districts. Like, you essentially planned the same one twice, and I think you ended up choosing this one. I don't know if you did that intentionally or not.
Yeah, this isn't the best.
You know, also, you could have put the industrial... Wait, what? You put a tag here, here, and you chose this spot because it had the +2. I don't know if I would have done. I mean, yeah, okay. Sure. You get +2 here. You put your campus here. You get the bonus of adjacent ones, and you can put a holy... Whatever. So yeah, like I said, I would have made this
Where should we go, huh?
I would have made that a domestic trade route. Yeah, I would have made a domestic trade route at the in your capital, you know, to one of the cities on the edge of water or something, just so that you can get some roads going. It'll make it easier. Yeah. I don't know why you do this. Like, why do you want so much food? It will give you production, I guess. Science and faith. So that's it.
I don't know what to do.
Well, I mean, you have two options. Either you put you do holy site prayer so that you get more faith. You do the campus research grant so that you get two more. See, also another thing here, I would have bought that great person right then and there.
Here.
You looked at it, you saw it, you didn't buy it. I would have bought it right away because the AI do buy stuff. And that's an incredibly important one for you. So you should have bought it right away. And especially if you're playing against me, I'm looking for that. And if I see that one and I'm able to purchase it, I won't be waiting 2 turns when I see that you're going to be able to get it in 2 turns. I'll make sure to buy it. So you should be planning that out yourself. Maybe they made changes here to what gives an adjacency bonus to a district, to an industrial site. Maybe having a lumber mill will give you a bonus. So putting here and here. I don't agree with what you just did. You hold on a second here. You said I'm gonna build an industrial site, and then you built a commercial site. I don't. The commercial site really isn't as valuable to you as the production is. Like in a general game, production is more valuable than money. Eventually, if that balance is too great, having a lack of money causes you issues. But right now, I mean,
Build a university right off the pad. I haven't even discovered universities yet.
no. That's the great thing about that great person.
Wonder what will happen.
I'll give you a university.
Save 3 production we did there.
I mean, shit, dude. You know what? You just looked at it yourself, and it's gonna take you 2 turns to get there. I would have built it there. Takes you 2 turns. You save 1 turn of production. Sure, that's not that much, but you're getting maximum usage out of that guy. And I wonder if that production being spent here gets used somewhere else. It may happen. It may happen, just like how if someone builds a wonder that you're building, you get a production, like you save that production and it's used elsewhere. You could have probably popped something really easily if you went over here. 2 turns, not that much. And you get maximum usage out of that guy. Or you save him and you put him up here in a Abamodad, Doesn't matter.
We're not going anymore. I don't have enough food anymore. What? Wait, turn and see what happens. Aren't you growing?
Here, I mean, putting an encampment up here is probably your best bet if you're still worried about him. That's the whole reason why you bought this tile, I would put that encampment up there just so you can get some visibility into his shit. Yeah, this is another thing that I was really surprised you did. I would have...
I built a harbor up in this ditch.
Why? Just so you can get 4 gold per turn? You're delaying your technology again. 3 turns so that you can build a district that is not going to help you. It's not even like... So one of the benefits to... One of the benefits to having a harbor is that it gives you tile improvements, right? Like, so it improves the tile improvements that you've already put.
Not be the best idea. They might just attack me using my road. We'll see if that should be a concern. Uh-oh.
No, they won't. They won't do that. Your friends, you sent them, right? So you're friends with them. you sent them a trade route, which is a positive modifier. They're not pissed that you're settling near them. You should be. That should not be a concern.
Guess what this is? This is my city up in the north? Maybe.
Yeah.
Yes. Fuck.
Not a bad
Shit.
thing though. It improves all your tiles. You just have to spend a worker to go back. Yeah, again, the harbor thing, a harbor, the lighthouse, the seaport, all of that stuff makes the tiles in that city, the water tiles in that city, more valuable. Unless you plan on building that world, I don't understand why you did that one either. Unless you plan on building that world wonder, um, that gives you more food and production on lake tiles, there's no point to be making a harbor tile there. Uh, like what, you're gonna build ships in the lake, or you're gonna build, I guess, a canal through there. But really, it's a weak city anyway, so not that helpful. I like here that you're utilizing the faith building. That's really good. So here, this would be a good city to put a harbor in, because you have 4 tile improvements that you could be doing. Putting a harbor in this city is also good. I mean, it's better if you put a campus in this city. Sorry, it's better if you put a campus in that city, because that city's gonna have massive fucking population due to all the food tiles. This one, I believe, should have been one over, just so that you're not really overlapping tiles. Since this city is going to be so big, it's going to be producing so much culture. It's going to rapidly be able to grow in size. You know, city border size. So you really don't want to overlap them too much. Moving him over one doesn't take anything away from the city. In fact, it gives it more space for it to grow. The same for that city. So, pay more attention to overlapping city borders, especially when the cities have the ability to grow huge.
How many? Good.
You're getting +3 taken away. That's a bad choice. Bad choice because it only gives you +3 gold. It doesn't give you anything and takes away an option as well.
Friendship. Yeah. Oh, right.
So here, choosing the cultural alliance does not help you whatsoever. It hinders you, in fact, and taking a research alliance or even a religious alliance would have been a good option here to take. And it's only a good option for you to be taking the religious alliance because they don't have a religion. They have your religion. This benefits her a lot more than you. And one of the things that I feared, military alliance with her is the best option you could take. One of the things that I feared when you did that through my first walkthrough, watch, and my subsequent ones, or the worry about the next game you play here, she's going to forward shell the shit out of you without having any negative modifiers to that. You mentioned that one city spot towards the south of your empire that you were like, that's a nice one. She can easily now go and settle that without any repercussions. Of course, it'll make relationships heighten tension between your two civilizations, but still.
No.
She had no problem settling Neri so close to you. So 10 turns away, Time for you to
Free.
to start.
Oh, this one's good though.
Oh, I guess I didn't consider that as one possibility. The Eureka for this is build 2 harbors, but still, you're way off. I mean, you have four, I think 5 cities maybe that can build a harbor. 2 of them are on lakes, and the other 3 are way too small, and it'll take too long to build a harbor in time to get this Eureka. So,
Okay.
but that is a consideration that I didn't make. But yeah, you're doing well enough on science now that that's not that big of a concern. So that being said, photography is in 10 turns. You should be buying religious units now. Getting them in position, getting them to the end of the edge of the coastal waters, ready to make their pilgrimage, or exodus out of the holy cities towards the new. Yeah, that's a good spot. And then I would put a campus in Hyperbad over here, just for the long run type thing. But again, if you get to the long run, you're lost this game. Or, well, not lost the game per se, but,
Like this.
we want you to win before the end of the game. But if you're still alive in the late game, that means your victory conditions have probably changed.
What's the going to do now? Yes,
Build science and faith.
it's gonna do these.
So I would have done the reverse. I would have built a settler in the other city and built a builder there, because the other city is building population at a much higher rate than Bangladesh or whatever that other one is called. Yeah, so I guess lumber mills have changed to give +2 production. Bet you they still give +3 if they're on a river though.
They probably have a fancy thing that I don't have. Build a trader. Should have done it a lot earlier.
Okay, let's move ahead. Harbor is a good choice here, because you can benefit a lot more from that than the other one. I would have built a campus right where you've repaired that mine. Or a holy site even. A holy site would have been good too. Harvesting this is a good option.
I did harvest.
Better in the early game. Not so great in the late game though. They don't scale as well. Putting a harbor in this city is not bad, but putting a campus or even a holy site in the city is better. Much better. You could do holy site, campus, industrial site, I guess. What'd you make? Okay.
I did not realize. Nice.
So this is the first time that we look at your social policies this round. Holy site adjacency bonus is good. I would remove this one. That's not helping you anymore. You got the guy that you wanted, and you're about to get to cartography, so now you should either be going fully religious or a combination of the two. I would take wildcard policy off that, and maybe put natural philosophy. That's going to yield you a lot more science than you would gain by any other great scientist. And yeah, all of these other ones here, I mean, it doesn't really make a difference. It really doesn't. This is not the government type that you want to have. You want to get theocracy so that it gives you the bonus to religious combat, which you're about to engage in. Oh, I don't know if I would have accepted that. I don't think he's ahead of you in military prowess, you know? And now you have a military alliance, so if he declares war on you, then he can fuck right off, right?
Hmm.
So I wouldn't have given in to that. But 5 gold per turn when you're making 34 after doesn't make that big of a difference. You can give yourself discipline here, which will help you fight off those barbarians. But if you're worried about war with someone else,
Not enough. Ah, misclick.
yeah, you went too fast there. Yeah, that's a good choice. And you lost him.
I discovered the stupid thing and I didn't.
You discovered cartography last turn, and you did not move your apostles. You gotta. Maybe that's also something. I know I struggle with it sometimes too. Is I get distracted by the way of the game, and I forget what my goal is here. But your goal right now is to get to the other continent as fast as possible. And I think this reminds you. Here, you choose the right one. Exodus of the Evangelists is exactly what you want.
Hopefully winning the game with this.
Perfect timing.
No, so.
Yeah, it doesn't make a difference here. These guys are. You're kind of building this too late for it to be worth it. None of these really help you. I mean, Essential Hall might help you.
I keep forgetting. Supposed to keep. Hey, screw it, we're gonna go in 190, 175.
Yeah, so this is 2 turns. Now. Really matter at this point. Like, you want science, but now you just need to focus on getting as much faith as possible and pumping those guys out. Like, now getting science doesn't matter.
No religious.
So here, I would have chosen the other outcome. This player's districts, one place, do a culture bomb or whatever, and I would have chosen yourself. That's better. All of his cities are surrounded by yours. He's not growing anywhere, anyways. So having no growth via culture doesn't make a difference to him. Whereas you could have promoted yourself. Maybe it'll create more tension with your neighbors, whatever, but it would also help those new cities in the north. Military advisor, yeah, it does make a difference. I like to personally give the bonus to range units just as a defensive capability because I always have range units in my cities. So, but it does make a difference. You know, you did something just as good. Yeah. Like I mentioned in the beginning of the game, the beginning of this video, I would try and separate them just so that you can get more visibility quicker. You know, it doesn't make sense to be sending them in a mutton unless you're I said mutton, but it's in a clumping like that. It's a French word, mouton. It's used to describe kids when they play soccer in Quebec. They all just clump together. But yeah, yes, Reformed Church, best option for you by a long shot. Take it. I would consider. Yeah, that's my man. Put him in the biggest city you got. He goes anywhere you want. Well, you put him in a place where there's you're gonna be building settlers out of, you know.
Sikhism.
So, you know, you're about to do it, I think. You should have done it that turn. Check the religious tab.
I would need to find capital of.
You do it now, but I wish you did it last turn. It's a good choice that you did. So Japan.
Founder.
But you also don't look at Rome for some reason. Like, if Rome is the founder of Sikhism, his capital's right there. Most likely the holy city. You don't know that. So yeah, you like. Good thing that you're doing this. You should have done this a couple turns ago. But hey, whatever. Doesn't matter. And ideally, you want to be buying all of those units from cities that have mosques in them, because your mosques give you +1 spread.
Heat. Okay, 4 turns.
Putting a builder wouldn't also be a bad idea here. I think you made the good choice there. But building a builder in that city wouldn't make a bad choice, so that you can get some production up and going.
Ah. Wow.
And just take care of them one shot at a time. You don't, like, I'm surprised you don't buy the units there. Like, yeah, anyways.
Kyoto.
You should be moving inland already. But you're about to do that. Doesn't make a difference. I mean, I suppose you could be afraid that his religious units are going to attack your religious units. But I think that if you just lead with your apostles, you know, have them as a scouting party, and then have the missionaries start to take out the religion, I think would be at a good step. Because you're going to need to have a foothold. It takes you too long to get to the holy site after converting it. He's just going to convert it back. Holy city, not holy site. That's a good one to be taking. So here you have the ability to go all out on religion, right? You put simulacrum or simultaneum in your economic policy slot. You swap out your great scientist, put this, and then you got a full fucking religious victory, and that's great. You know, that's you'd be doing much wrong. All your religious units would have +10 religious strength. You know, you'd be making a lot more faith. So I think you do one out of the two things that I discussed there.
I have a lot of faith, but
171 gives you 13 more. Not as much as we thought. I guess that's because you don't have a lot of cities over 10.
Okay, it's 190. I'm going to I'm gonna prepare another wave of missionaries.
And you don't have any other holy sites.
Okay, 6. Very easy. Alright, and next turn. So that's done. Yeah. Anyway, I think my goal is to, I think this is Indonesian. This is definitely city state. Is to take over the 2531. They're beating me. Eek.
They're not beating you.
Take over their holy site. And then yeah, so I'll have to really overwhelm them.
Oh, what the hell's going on with that city up there? I didn't notice
that.
that. So anyways, so yeah, you did a pretty good game. You know, you were a bit slow on things, you know. I think that's the main takeaway of this episode is that you got to stay more focused on what you plan on doing in the future. You know, you seem to get distracted by what's currently happening and you're missing the bigger picture sometimes. I think you're not missing it completely. You're obviously still getting there. You know, you're still doing this, but it's taking you a couple more turns. Nothing serious, but a couple more turns. And I think that might be one of the differences, you know, that you can be making to improve your game. It's just minimizing those downtime in between decisive actions, you know. You know, you could have prepared this wave of missionaries a turn or two ago, right after that second wave essentially went out. As soon as they did their first turn, you could have bought more. But yeah. And you might want to consider buying not only some missionaries, but some apostles too. Since he has a significant religion, he's probably also going to be fighting you. And doing religious combat is a good way to destroy the other person's faith or followers in that city. You know, if you manage to corner a couple of his apostles or a couple of his missionaries with yours, you can just destroy all of his standing in the neighboring cities. And the fact that you have plus 10 religious combat strength now is really, really good for you. You know, it's going to help you to be just destroying them. So, anyways, you're doing good. It's taking a little bit of time. You seem to get distracted. And you do seem to be focusing not only on religious, but also infrastructure now too, which is good. But again, if our goal is to win via religion, and in order to do a religion, you kind of have to do it quicker rather than later. You know, focusing on late game infrastructure on cities that don't necessarily need it is not the priority. But, you know, you're still doing really good, and I think you're going to win this game without a doubt. You know? But yeah. Just keep making more faith. That's what you got to do. Because eventually you're going to want to be producing missionaries at a faster rate than your faith is going to allow. And you've had a stockpile for a long time now, which is good. But yeah. Anyways, good game, man. Good game.